driver Carrington gets dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona, the big one is out. Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the Legacy Sports Car Series today at the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're about to head out for our 45-minute feature event. As always, on behalf of the Legacy Sports Car Series, led for construction and Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, my name is James Eastbury, the Action 1080p, 60 frames a second. As we get ready to fire things off, let's go ahead and take a look at today's grid. Starting on pole, Danny Beauchamp in the LMP2. Tim Jonkin in LMP2 starting second. Nick Terrell, our final LMP2 driver, will be starting third on the grid. Running fourth on the grid, you've got Hunter Madalanas in the GT1, a newcomer to the series. Jason Conley starts fifth in GT1. Zach Rogers in the GT1 starting sixth. Then you've got Connor Brown starting seventh, leading the GT3s. Joseph Penn, he'll be eighth on the grid in the GT3. And then Maximilian Petrovsky coming back out on track. He will be starting ninth here today, rounding out our field. And Maximilian is actually in the GT1 this time around, showing back up after a bit of a break, but good to see him back out on track. As Beauchamp and Jonk follow the iRacing safety car side by side, getting ready to do battle here at Charlotte. As always, thank you to our fans from across the world that tune in week and week out, supporting the drivers, supporting the series, and supporting the broadcast. Without you guys at home, we would not have much of a show. As I appreciate it, and the drivers appreciate it as well. Gonna be interesting to see how some of these high horsepower machines do here at Charlotte. These LMP2s, these GT1s, a whole lot to hold on to around what is considered a relatively tight section in a couple of portions. Now, they do run the NASCAR series out on this same track, but these guys can really, I think, carry just a little bit more speed utilizing that high downforce.
Connor, do you want the left or the right lane?
As we hear drivers get ready, let's take a look back at Joseph Penn and see what he's doing. Penn, the series owner, he'll be starting ninth in that number 12 BMW here today. You see him in the blue and yellow on the high line. He's next to Connor Brown. So let's pan the camera back up front to see what Beauchamp and Jonk are going to do once that iRacing safety Porsche makes its way down pit road. The leaders are to start on green here today. I'm excited to get a 45-minute feature event, as I believe all of these drivers are still fighting for a team championship as well, still late in the season. But here we go, the lights go off, Beauchamp gets a great launch, Jonk follows in tow, and Madalanas is going to lead the GT1 drivers in that number 77 Corvette. He's just ahead of Nick Terrell, Terrell in the LMP2. Not sure if he has some sort of problem or what the issue may have been, but now he's got GT1 traffic to contend with early on. Up front, Beauchamp pulls an early lead of about 8/10 over Jonk. But we're all watching with bated breath to see what's going to happen as Terrell slides up the inside line of the GT1 driver, Madalanas. Madalanas still leading his class. He's got about a 3/4 of a second over Conley, but Conley has been very quick throughout the season. And look at that, Madalanas catching the draft of that LMP2 of Terrell and trying to squeeze a little bit more speed out of that Corvette because he knows Conley is coming quick. The number 66 machine, second in class, fifth overall, trying to catch back up. Oh, and misses the mark. Going into the chicane, almost gets to the back of Madalanas. Takes the off track, opting to be more safe than sorry, as now Conley's also going to have pressure from Zach Rogers in the number 4 Corvette, sliding up the inside line. So just like that, Conley, who has been one of the dominant drivers this season, slides back to 6th. Maximilian Petrovsky in the number 59 machine, also a GT1 driver, running 7th overall, 4th in class. He's about 1.2 seconds back from Conley. And Terrell still feeling pressure from Modelanis. Jason Conley loses another spot to Maximilian Petrovsky as he goes back to 8th. Conley has all sorts of problems, now getting passed by the GT3 driver and class leader of Connor Brown. Brown representing Rise Motorsports since his teammate McAllister unable to get out onto the track here today. I believe McAllister may be running a 24-hour event. I'm not entirely sure on that. As Conley gets around the GT3 drivers once more. Connor Brown, though, now he's going to have pressure from Joseph Penn, number 12 BMW. Penn getting within striking distance early on. Now, these GT3 class drivers have put on some of the best shows for the duration of this series. We've seen some really tight racing week after week. Daniel Beauchamp running out front, your overall leader, as well as class leader in the LMP2s, clicks off the fastest lap of the race with a 109.94. Now with this 45-minute feature event, this is a regularly scheduled one-stop event. Drivers will come in once for fuel, usually at the halfway mark around that lap or minute 20 to 25 window. Is when a lot of the drivers will start to come in, especially the LMP2s and the GT1s. The GT3 drivers seem like they can stretch it out just a little while longer. Conley getting back in his groove. He's trying to chase down Petrovsky. Petrovsky has smoke all out of the side of that number 59 machine. Not sure if maybe he missed the shift or maybe locked up the brakes there. But now Conley's caught the draft here at Charlotte on the banking. They seem fairly similar paced here. Petrovsky lost about a 1/10 of a second there, as now Conley all over the back bumper of that number 59 Aston Martin. Beauchamp getting faster and faster up front, but so is Tim Jonk. He sets the fastest lap of his race with a 109.97. He's about a half second off the fastest time set by Beauchamp. It'll be interesting to see how tire wear and tire management becomes a factor. Conley gets around Petrovsky without any issues or worries. And let's see if Petrovsky can catch back up in that number 59 machine. Now Conley's got a long way to go. He's almost 10 seconds back from second in class Zach Rogers, but he has put himself into podium contention. Conley, one of those drivers that's chasing a championship. Every single point that he can secure here today absolutely matters. As we pan back up front to Danny Beauchamp, he's got a comfortable 3.2 second lead over Tim Jonk, second in class. Nick Terrell still third in class for the Honda LMP2s. And Beauchamp just getting faster and faster as the tires start to come alive, clicking off a 109 flat. But we've got problems for Jason Conley and the number 66 machine. Has pushed wide. Did he tag the wall? It does not appear that he has too much damage, but that will allow Petrovsky to take over third in class once more for the GT1s. Conley just maybe not coming to grips here in Charlotte. Uncharacteristic, as Conley has been dominant all season long. As this may be a race he will soon want to forget. He's really got to charge hard here to try and reel in Modelanis, who is 22 seconds ahead. Now that being said, we've seen plenty of positions gained or lost in the past due to driver errors, especially as the race continues to charge forward. Beauchamp with another fastest lap of the race, a 108.9. Tim Jonk answers with a 109.6. Jonk's still running great out here one of those drivers that seems to have just gotten better and better as the series progressed. He gets more seat time in this LMP2. Has been somebody to keep an eye on for the duration of the event. The duration of the series, I should say. Petrovsky holds on to 6th as he crosses the line. He's still about 3 seconds ahead of Conley. Now we know Conley has the pace, but will he have the consistency here at Charlotte? I'm not sure if he's maybe fighting a setup issue or what the issue may be, because Conley is running the same lap times as your race leader in GT1's Hunter Matalanis, but just found himself with too many problems early on. As here comes Conley getting closer and closer to Petrovsky to try and make a move once more. As you go on board with Jason Conley, he's a less than a second back heading into the chicane here at Charlotte on the backstretch. And my, oh my, look how much time he just reeled in there on Petrovsky, bouncing that Aston Martin through the air, using all of the curbing. So this is the battle for third in the GT1 class. Conley all over the back bumper of Petrovsky going into turn 1. Are we going to see Conley stick the nose in? But a huge lockup and a little bit of impact. Conley gets into the back of Petrovsky and absolutely drills the outside wall into turn 1. Petrovsky had such a bobble through there. I think Conley may have smoked the engine. That is not a good-looking machine, as he may have let all the magic smoke out. There goes Connor Brown, and yes, Conley will take a tow back to pit road. And quite the uncharacteristic night for the driver of the number 66 machine. Daniel Beauchamp cutting through traffic nice and cleanly. Nine drivers entered and one has had to go back to the hauler early on. Now I believe these guys have a fast repair. And I heard more problems. That's going to be Zach Rogers in the Corvette having an issue. A beautifully painted number 4 machine, but look at the damage on the left side. Hopefully Rogers can hold on to it. Maximilian Petrovsky also coming down pit road in the GT1. So Matalanis still your class leader for GT1. He's got Zach Rogers running second. We're not even to the halfway mark, the quarter of the way mark, the 1/3 mark. And things are all sorts of out of control here today. Connor Brown still comfortably leading the GT3 class. As Petrovsky makes it to his pit stall to try and get some repairs done on the front of the number 59, get back out there and get back to racing. But that is a double-edged sword when you're involved in that early incident. You have to come in now and fix your damage, and it's also going to throw you off the pit sequence, maybe making it a surprise 2-stop race. Again, this should only be a 1-stop race for our drivers, barring any trackside, off-track shenanigans. And Charlotte, not known for its wide runoff and forgiving walls. Jason Conley makes his way out of pit road. As you're watching Rogers zip around the track. He's gotten it within about 10 seconds of Modelanis, your GT1 class leader. But Modelanis has had the pace all day long. We check in on Modelanis. Still clicking off laps in the high 1:13-second lap time. He's definitely been the fastest, if not the most consistent GT1 driver out on track. As in the GT1 class, we had 2 of the Corvettes and 2 of the Aston Martins. Speaking of Aston Martins, Conley maybe with a little bit too much curbing in the apron there through the chicane. Keeps it off the wall, but that'll allow Joseph Penn to take over 7th overall. The GT3 driver out there just clicking off laps. As we check in on our race leader, Danny Beauchamp, still clicking off 109-second lap times. Beauchamp just clicking off laps here today. Not having too many worries or issues. Still with a comfortable gap. Tim Jonk running 2nd overall. Nick Terrell still 3rd overall in class. Now it looks like Terrell finding some time here, getting a little bit closer to Jonk as the run progresses. Nick Terrell in the Taco Bell back Honda LMP2. Still running 3rd overall, 3rd in class. And right at that 3-second mark, Tim Jonk comes down pit road early. Terrell will take over 2nd. Not sure if Jonk maybe has some sort of issues in that number 22 or what the issue may be as he comes in very mighty early. So now Terrell moves up to 2nd place. He's going to try and track down and whittle away at that 23-second gap that Danny Beauchamp has out front. As let's see, Terrell comes out of pit road, he's going to be, or excuse me, as Jonk comes out of pit road, he's going to be about 33 seconds back from, I believe, Tim Jonk. And once again, Rogers finds himself behind an LMP2 trying to catch a tow here. Ooh, almost a little bit of contact between Rogers and race leader Beauchamp. Beauchamp on the apron now, trying to make his way through lap traffic. And Tim Jonk comes back down pit road. Beauchamp slides up next to Joseph Penn, dicing through traffic here. This is odd. Jonk coming back in after 1 lap. Maybe not sure if he's happy with how the car is handling. Maybe has some irreparable damage on the suspension. It's tough to tell. As we wait to see if Jonk goes back out on track or if he's going to put in the hauler early here today. So far, the only driver officially out will be Maximilian Petrovsky in that GT1 Corvette. He has retired and shows 9th overall. As we pull up the overall running on the left side of your screen, it's Beauchamp, Terrell, and Matalanis in the GT1. Holding on to third here, very respectful. As now Beauchamp is going to have his hands full in lap traffic. This is where it gets dicey. You have to trust in your own ability as well as the driver in front of you to not make any mistakes. I believe that's going to be Connor Brown in the number 45 machine. Yes, it is. Brown currently leading the GT3s. We'll go another lap down to Beauchamp in that LMP2. Beauchamp looking for a way through here, dives down the apron. He's got the high downforce, doesn't need to carry the maximum amount of speed as possible, but Brown having a great run here today. He's a resounding 20 seconds ahead of Joseph Penn. As we pan the camera back to Beauchamp, as I hear a few more Corvettes just ahead of him. A very unique layout here in Charlotte with the bridge and high banking. One of those tracks is either absolutely loved or absolutely despised by our racers. But usually not a whole lot of in between. I wonder if that is Matalanis. I believe it is. That is your third overall. Matalanis leading the GT1 class here today is about to get lapped by Beauchamp. That will leave just two drivers on the lead lap, Beauchamp and Terrell. As the run progresses 15 laps, 16 laps into this main event. And yes, Matalanis running third overall, but still going a lap down. Beauchamp is on rails here today. He's about 44 seconds ahead of Nick Terrell. It'll be interesting to see if by the end of this run, Beauchamp can put the entire field a lap down. John coming back down pit road. In that number 22. I would imagine he's got some sort of suspension or undercarriage damage that he's just really fighting with here today, trying to get it corrected. Or at this point of the race saying, hey, I don't have a chance at the overall lead. Let's make some adjustments on the car, still get some data going into next week, and come out just a little bit stronger, as next week we go to Laguna Seca. On December 11th, and our season finale will be at Homestead Miami Speedway, December 18th. Gonna be really exciting to see what these guys can do. It's been great racing for the duration of the season, and a free to join and a whole lot of fun league. Inexpensive cars, very popular tracks, and just great racing no matter the class that you sign up for. The Legacy Sports Car Series has proved to be quite the proving ground for certain drivers wanting to come out and work on their racecraft as well as their setup skills. We check in once more on Rogers. He's running fourth overall in the Corvette, second in class in GT1s. His last time by, he was running almost an identical pace as Matalanis, the third place overall and first in class GT1 driver. Matalanis clicked off a 113.97, Rogers with a 114.05. But it'll be very interesting to see how the pit cycle plays a role here today. As we've seen these races won or lost on strategy. Now, generally speaking, most of these drivers will only take fuel on that pit stop to get right back out there. They will double stint the tires in these short 45 minutes race, barring any sort of gross setup issues. And Rogers will be wigging it through the chicane. No problems there as he crosses the start-finish line. That was a 1:14.55. He lost about a second on Modelanis that last time by. As Modelanis still about 14 seconds ahead of Zach Rogers in that number 4. But the Corvette drivers having a great run out here today. In the GT1, currently running first and second in class. Jason Conley, though, looks like he took a tow back to pit road. He has more problems in the Aston Martin 66 machine. So he will be retired from the evening, just not able to get that car fixed back into proper racing shape. Connor Brown still leading our GT3 drivers around the track. He is about 22 seconds ahead of Joseph Penn in the BMW, second in class in the GT3s. As we still wait patiently for the pit cycle to open up for our drivers. Brown very consistent. He's only about a second off his fastest lap of the race in that number 45 for GT3. Brown's fastest lap of the race was a 1:19. His last time by, a 1:20. Now Zach Rogers comes down pit road in that number 4 Corvette GT1, and Connor Brown has a problem in the chicane as well. Comes in just a little bit too deep, pushes wide in the first section, and then tags the front left of the car on the outside wall. Hopefully that does not affect him too badly as Beauchamp makes his way around on the apron. So it'll be Rogers, the first GT1 driver, with a scheduled pit stop. Now we got to see when Modelanis is going to come in. Now this is about the halfway mark of the race. We're about 22 minutes in. I know the live time in the top left has the wrong time for whatever reason. The lap count is correct for your leaders. So the fuel window is officially open. Now I'll be curious to see when Modelanis comes in, as it is a long time on pit road. As I believe Rogers actually going to go a lap down here. No, not quite. He's still about 5 seconds ahead of Modelanis. A very long pit time. Rogers was on the pit road for a total of 1 minute and 4 seconds. He spent 34 seconds in his box. I'm wondering if he maybe threw some tires on that Corvette. As now Rogers is getting chased by Joseph Penn in the number 12 BMW through the chicane. And there's Modelanis, your GT1 class leader. He's ahead by almost 1 minute and 10 seconds on a course that is about 1 minute and 14 seconds long for these GT1 drivers. That was a very long pit stop from Rogers, 34 seconds in his pit stall. So if Modelanis has the exact same pit stop strategy as Rogers, He will come out on track just about 5 or 6 seconds ahead of the number 4 GT1 driver, Zach Rogers. As Rogers and Matalanis cut through traffic, not having any problems, still being chased by Joseph Penn. Try and find a wide angle shot to see if we can get eyes. There is Matalanis has gotten around Penn. Coming out onto the banking here at Charlotte. And now Matalanis will come down pit road, so now we get to see what the strategy is going to be. As we're expecting this to be about a 35 to 38 lap race for our Honda LMP2 drivers. But now we're going to watch where Matalanis is going to come out on track compared to Zach Rogers running second in the GT1s. Joseph Penn yields the position to second overall, second in class, Nick Terrell. Now Rogers in the GT1, he was in his pit stall for 34 seconds. Matalanis in and out in 20.55 seconds. Almost 14 seconds faster on pit road. Let's see where Rogers will be at in relation to Matalanis now that that pit cycle has completed. As we wait for live timing to update, that is the GT3 of Connor Brown just ahead of Rogers. Terrell comes down pit road, the number 81 Honda LMP2. Brown yields the position to Rogers to allow the GT1 driver to get through quickly and cleanly. And it looks like Rogers after this pit cycle will be back by about 32 seconds. Here comes Tim Jonk in the Honda LMP2 blasting through the field after a rough go and a rough start here today. Beauchamp also comes down pit road 1 lap later than Nick Terrell. Now let's see how this strategy is going to affect the race for the LMP2s. John getting dangerously close to that outside wall in turn 1, holds onto it fine. As he moves up to 4th overall. Beauchamp exits pit road as well. He was about 15 seconds slower than Terrell on pit road. Not sure if Beauchamp took some tires there or what the reason for the long stop was. Now Beauchamp should still have a comfortable lead over Terrell after that pit cycle has concluded. He was about a lap ahead when the pit stops work themselves out. As Terrell shows about 33 seconds behind Beauchamp, the Englishman leading the overall event here today. Connor Brown, the GT3 class leader, he also comes down pit road. Let's see if Joseph Penn opts to follow. Yes, he will in the BMW. So both GT3 drivers will be on pit road at the same time, trying to get it slowed down, activating their pit limiters. Beauchamp still running comfortably out front, about 33 seconds ahead of Terrell. But let's talk about Modelanos having a great run out here today in that GT1 and worked his way to third overall. He's got about 22 seconds over Tim Jonk, the other LMP2 driver who had a bit of misfortune early on in today's main event. Let's go try and blast back up into podium contention. Checking back in on Tim Jonk, the number 22 Honda LMP2. He's worked his way back up to fourth after 3 early pit stops, trying to get that machine dialed back in, the number 22 machine. And he's going to do his best to catch back up to Modelanos and punch the GT1 driver off of the podium. Jonk cutting through traffic, working his way around Connor Brown, the GT3 class leader. He's got about a 16.5 second deficit to try and catch up to Modelanos and get back up to the podium. Not a lot of laps remain for these drivers. Modelanos doing a fantastic job in his Legacy Sports Car Series debut, running third overall in the GT1 class. He's been very fast and most importantly consistent for the duration of this run, not having any big problems. As again, we are expecting 38 laps, maybe around 37 out of our class leaders and overall leaders, Danny Beauchamp and Nick Terrell. But all eyes again are on Model-A's number 77 machine, who's looking for his first ever podium in his debut to the series. And what is resoundingly not the fastest car class out on track. Generally, this is an LMP2 dominated event, but sometimes we see the cards fall in the favor of the GT1 drivers, with LMP2 drivers either running out of gas, having early misfortunes with a wall, or even pulling off on the white flag lap. Nine seconds separating Model-A's from Tim Jonk. Jonk charging hard. You can see the camera pan, and that is Jonk headed into the chicane. He's getting chased by the overall leader, Daniel Beauchamp, as well. Now, Jonk wants to keep his head down and try and catch up to Model-A's, but we are thinking he will most likely yield the spot to Beauchamp if Beauchamp, yes, takes advantage of it. Jonk moves aside. He loses about a second there to Model-A's, opting to hop in behind Beauchamp, pick up the draft to head into turn one, and see if he can take the toe of the 451 machine to pull himself back into an overall podium. Tim Jonk putting his head down here in the final laps. The Legacy Sports Car Series doing everything in his power to catch up to Model-A's. As you go on board, he's still about 6.8 seconds back. .3 seconds now separating Jonk from Model-A's. Model-A's is doing everything in his power to try and get his first podium in a debut here. Model-A's getting overtaken by the overall race leader. Danny Beauchamp rides up the inside line in that 451 Honda LMP2. So now we have two drivers on the lead lap. Daniel Beauchamp, Nick Tyrrell. And we're about to see the battle for third. Beauchamp sets the fastest lap of the race, but Tim Jonk has problems. We saw smoke coming off the back right side of that number 22 LMP2. He's down to 1.8 seconds. Working extremely hard to get on the podium once more. He is now 1.5 seconds behind Model-A's. Model-A's behind Joseph Penn, the GT3 driver, is running second in class. Penn hops out of the way as quickly as he can. As we're about to see the most unexpected of battles, Tim Jonk putting the pressure on Model-A's. This is for third overall. Now Model-A's comfortable leading the GT1 class, but he wants that podium. But here comes Jonk sliding up the inside. And Jonk will take over the third place spot heading into the chicane, but he spins it! Tim Jock throws it away once more. Modelanis takes over third overall. This is some late race excitement that no one was expecting. It's still Beauchamp tailing the lead lap, but you're watching the battle for third overall. Modelanis leading the GT1s. Tim Jock running fourth overall, still third in class for the LMP2s, but he wants that overall position here today. As now he will once again have to work through a 2.5 second disadvantage to catch back up to Modelanis. Not a lot of time left remaining. As again, the laps in the top left of your screen are correct. The timing tower is not. We would imagine this is going to be a 38 lap race at most, judging by the times our LMP2 drivers have been putting down here today. As now it is 1.1 second. 1 second and closing fast. Here comes Jonk to take another shot at Modelanis. The LMP2 just has so much speed, so much downforce, but the Corvette driver of Hunter Modelanis having a spectacular showing by himself. Here comes Jonk up the inside line. Who's it going to be at the line? Or going into the chicane, I should say. Tim Jonk makes a gutsy move down the inside line. Modelanis follows suit. Jonk, you can tell he's on the ragged edge here as he's worked his way up to third overall. Hunter Modelanis slides back to fourth. Modelanis still leading the class in the GT1. A spectacular show of racecraft and sportsmanship between Tim Jock and Hunter Modelanis. Absolute great racing from two very talented drivers in two very different vehicles out on track for this multi-class 45-minute feature event. Daniel Beauchamp with a comfortable 51-second lead has been the dominant LMP2 driver as well as overall here at the Legacy Sports Car Series, not having any issues, any worries, or so far any close calls. Let's see if Beauchamp runs it out to the checkered or decides to come in on the white flag in his signature move, as it is his race to throw away at this point in time. Beauchamp setting another fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 8 second .54. He's gotten comfortable and the fuel load is low in that LMP2 driver. Beauchamp is absolutely going to send it in the closing laps to see if he can keep improving on those times. Having a lot of fun out here today in that LMP2. And Beauchamp just wickedly fast in everything he sets foot in. And let's see when the checker will fly for Danny Beauchamp, well on his way to victory. Had a few off tracks here today, but so far no big issues. And yes, the checkered flag will fly for Danny Beauchamp, the overall leader as well as the LMP2 leader. Barring any last-second off-track excursions, Matalana should be winning it in the GT1s. As yes, Matalana crosses the line, absolutely pumped for his first time here in Victory Lane. Connor Brown winning the GT3 class. A great run from all of our competitors. With Danny Beauchamp, Nick Terrell, Tim Jong taking the top 3. Matalana and Rogers rounds out the top 5. A great race from all the competitors. Thank you all so much for tuning in, supporting us. We hope to see you soon, and we'll see you same time, same place next week. Have a great night, everyone.